Hey, second graders, get ready to make a portrait of your teacher. You'll start out with these simple tricks to draw a picture of a person. First, a giant U for their face. Then I add the ears and the neck along with the shirt line and shoulders. Then consider your teacher's hairline. Your hair, whichever way you make it, is going to end near the ears. I'm drawing Mrs. Firestein first. Her hair could probably be a little bit wavier than this, but you get the idea. I add her glasses first before I add her eyes, which makes it a lot easier in the end. Try drawing with pencil first. I'm drawing with Sharpie, but pencil is always a good first step. One thing I want to emphasize in Mrs. Firestein's portrait is her beautiful smile. There are so many different ways to draw eyes. Here are some simple examples that you can use to get some ideas. Feel free to pause the video at any time so you can catch up or choose which eyes you'll draw for your teacher. Next, here are some simple mouths to draw. Whether you're showing a smirk, or just lips, or showing all teeth, you can pick which smile is perfect for your teacher. Next up, I'm going to draw Mrs. Berglund. I start with the same trick of drawing the U first, then the ears. I added her curly hair along her hairline, and then put her hair in a bun, something I think is definitely distinct about Mrs. Berglund. If you're drawing Mrs. Berglund, remember to draw her glasses before you draw her eyes. Before you start drawing your teacher, you might want to start brainstorming about their interests, things that they like, things that they do, maybe even their quirks. I know Mrs. Berglund loves her dog Gus and kayaking. Next up is Mrs. Pafford, and as you see, I'm starting the same way with my portrait. The U, then the ears, the neck, the hairline, and then adding details. Mrs. Pafford also has glasses, so if you're drawing her, start with those glasses before the eyes. Along with her pretty eyes and smile, Mrs. Pafford also wears really fun, colorful clothing. When I think of Mrs. Pafford, I think about her taking a long walk with her dog Theo at the park. Now, who's next? Well, if I'm adding stripes, it's gotta be Mrs. Endel. Mrs. Endel has beautiful blue eyes, and so I try to emphasize them here. She's the only second grade teacher who doesn't wear glasses. Mrs. Endel also has 4 kids, so I drew her juggling lots of different things in this portrait. And once again, I'll draw Mrs. Firestein. Do you know that she has been teaching for 32 years? I think about all the wonderful things that she likes to do, and I think about her beautiful smile. Here I'll demonstrate drawing on Mrs. Firestein's portrait. I'd like for you to add some details for your teacher. Think about, again, the things that they like, their family members, maybe even draw them inside your classroom. I know Mrs. Firestein recently bought a camper with her husband, so I'm drawing that here in the background. Maybe she's camping and she's got her bike with her. Maybe she and her husband are out west in the mountains. Lastly, make sure you add some color to your teacher portrait. She will love to see how you've drawn her. She will also love to see the details in the background and the color you've added to give it some pizzazz. When you're all done with your teacher portrait, share a photo of it for us to see in Seesaw.